You can support us by subscribing. The geopolitics of the South China Sea is changing with the sharp movements of the US Navy. The work of the United States and its allies over the past few months has led them to a single conclusion. That is to take more precautions and show more presence in the region. According to images released by the Pentagon, the Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group is operating in the South China Sea. The aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan and the cruiser USS Antietam are shown during resupply in a naval operation in the South China Sea. A separate video showed the destroyer USS Rafael Peralta in the same area. USS Nimitz and her assault group were operating in the area in April before moving to the Philippine Sea last month. After the Nimitz strike group was deployed, it was now expected to make its way home. Two carrier strike groups held exercises with Japanese, French and Canadian ships in the Philippine Sea and East China Sea last week as part of the US Indo-Pacific Command Large-Scale Global Exercise 2023. The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, or JMSDF, said in a statement that the Reagan strike group participated in Exercise Noble Typhoon with 3 countries in the last 10 days. Exercise Noble Typhoon, part of Large-Scale Global Exercise 2023, took place in the South China Sea near Okinawa. Ships involved in the exercise included the US Navy's USS Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier, cruisers US Antietam, and Robert Small's destroyers USS Rafael Peralta and Chung Hoon, fleet lubricant USNS Rappahannock. In addition, powerful and deterrent ships such as Japan Maritime Self-Defense Forces helicopter destroyer JS Izumo, destroyer JS Samidara, frigate HMCS Montreal from the Royal Canadian Navy, and frigate FS Lorraine from the French Navy took part. So what does the Noble Typhoon aim for? Exercise Noble Typhoon included anti-surface, anti-air, anti-submarine and naval resupply exercises between ships. The French Navy stated that Lorraine was integrated into the Reagan assault group for the exercise. Meanwhile, Japan and the United States staged deterrent demonstrations in response to North Korea's launch of 2 ballistic missiles into Japan's economic exclusion zone. The Japan Air Self-Defense Forces conducted a tactical exercise with 4 F-2 fighter jets attached to the 8th Air Wing, 4 US F-35 Lightning II fighter jets, and a KC-135 tanker over the Sea of Japan on the JSO, the Joint Staff Office of the Ministry of Defense of Japan. This bilateral exercise reaffirms the strong will to respond to any situation between Japan and the United States, the readiness of the Japan Self-Defense Forces and the US Armed Forces, the statement said. In addition, these exercises further strengthen the deterrence and intervention capabilities of the Japan-US alliance. In a statement from the Japan Self-Defense Forces, it was reported that the destroyers JS Haguro and USS John Finn conducted tactical exercises in the Sea of Japan in response to North Korean launches. The Haguro is the second of 2 Maya-class destroyers equipped with the Aegis combat system and capable of ballistic missile defense. After exercises with Japan, the missile submarine USS Michigan arrived in Busan, South Korea. The US Navy, JMSDF, and Royal Australian Air Force have completed a maritime patrol aircraft exercise that began in Pacific Ocean waters off the coast of Japan last week, according to a statement released from the Japanese Navy. The exercise was conducted outside the Misawa Air Base and consisted of mission planning, ground link exchange and aircraft driver exchanges. RAAF No. 11 Squadron Black Cat is equipped with 2 P-8A aircraft, JMSDF Air Patrol Squadron 2 Odin P-3C aircraft, and USN Patrol Squadron 26 Trident AP. The Japanese Navy said it was a great opportunity to host the Royal Australian Air Force in Japan and hold tripartite exercises, demonstrating the interoperability of global maritime patrol forces. The Navy's statement added that participants were familiar with the maritime environment associated with maritime patrol during the exercise, and that during the exercise the squadrons worked together to develop the USN JMSDF RAAF data link and enhanced interoperability. In addition, the JMSDF statement also stated that a JMSDF submarine participated in the exercise. These efforts by the countries of the region, such as the USA, Japan and Australia, are of course due to the increasing concerns of China and for the Russian Navy to land in the Pacific Ocean at any moment and create a joint power with China. When we look at the historical relations between China and Russia, it would not be wrong to say that the country that both countries to see as their main rival is the USA. So where does Russia stand in this tension? Russia, one of the important actors of the international system, established the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics with the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917 and played an important role in the course of the war by taking place against Hitler in the Second World War. The Soviet Union became one of the decisive actors of the bipolar world order after the war. China, which was under Japanese occupation at that time, established a socialist state under the leadership of Mao with the withdrawal of Japan after the Second World War. The fact that two states in the same region were established on a similar ideological basis enabled mutual cooperation to be developed, and a friendship agreement was signed between them in 1950. With the cooperation established, the USSR began to transfer the necessary technical and industrial assistance to China to accelerate China's economic development. However, this positive atmosphere between the two states did not last long, and a few years after the Korean War, the conflict of foreign policy approaches with each other adversely affected the bilateral relations and caused the termination of the friendship agreement in 1959. In addition, the differences in view of the socialist regime between the two countries and the differences of opinion on the revolution revealed the Sino-Russian separation. Ultimately, as a result of the isolation policies applied to China by the Soviet Russia, China turned its face to the USA. The rapprochement of the USA and China made it a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council in 1971. This process has also accelerated the development of economic and political relations between the two countries. This type of relationship, developed by China with the USA against Russia, is called the strategic triangle in the literature. However, with the end of the Cold War period, approximately 3 years after the establishment of the Russian Federation instead of Soviet Russia, relations between China and Russia began to be re-established on the basis of cooperation. The deterioration of the relations of both countries with the West was effective in the fact that cooperation with China gained importance for Russia. The establishment of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in 1996 was evaluated as the relations between the two countries turned into a strategic partnership against the unipolar system of the USA. Russia's implementation of a more effective foreign policy has led to the development of bilateral relations in the region on energy, economy, security through a new friendship agreement with China. The signing of the agreement that ended the border disputes between the two countries in 2008 was an important step in solving the problems between Russia and China. China has an ally with a deterrent naval force like Russia, and when the forces of these two countries join forces, it will be a difficult force to deal with. It would not be wrong to say that China's aim, together with Russia, is to intimidate the United States and remind them that it is the ruler of these areas. However, the course of the Ukrainian war and the fact that Russia lost a lot of naval power during the war may also be a sign that things will turn around. So what do you think about this subject? Please express your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications in order to be informed about new videos. Thank you for watching us.